Today we've got Jasmine Ashley on the show. We are going to talk about angels, spirits, ghosts, healing, Reiki, and the whole bit. She's going to open up about her experiences, and I'm just going to punch in and really ask her these questions that everybody is burning to know. So we got a certified Reiki master here, all right, Oracle and tarot card reader, and you're also an RN.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a little bit of that's the basis, guys, but we are really going to dive into like right from the start to where we are now and then everything in between. But I really want some nice juicy stories if you got them, okay?
I think I can bring some up for you.
Yeah? Okay, good. All right, Jasmine. So tell us, I guess, where are you from?
I'm from Cambridge.
Okay. Born and raised?
Born in Guelph.
Yeah.
And then we lived in Georgetown. And then I moved to BC for a little bit, and then we came into this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're currently living in Kitchener or Cambridge?
Cambridge.
Okay, Cambridge right now. And then, so when you were younger, okay, you have a bit of a gift here, okay? When did you really realize that this was something that was different than other people?
So I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family where it is normal.
Okay.
So seeing spirits or having dreams that come true, that type of thing, I thought it was always normal. And I also thought it was normal that your ancestors, once they passed on, that they would still visit you.
So break that down a little bit. So you your family thought it was normal too?
Yeah. So whenever I would have an experience, whether it's seeing children that were not around any longer or seeing a great grandma that passed on, whenever I'd bring that experience up to my mom, she wouldn't make me feel like it was abnormal.
Okay.
So when I realized it was different, or I was different, was when I went to school. And then the teacher asked, like, oh, what did you do last night? And then my mom, she went on a date. And then I was sleeping in her room because I preferred to go there when she wasn't there because it made me feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And my great grandma visited. So it kind of scared me at first because she came through the closet.
Yeah.
So now I know that like doors and stuff that can be portals and things like that. So she came through there and then she was asking me where my mom was. And I said how she's on a date with my sister's dad. And then she told me she would come back. And then when she left, all I saw were like hearts and smiley faces in the sky. So I think it was her way of saying, I'm safe.
Yeah.
You don't have to be afraid.
Yeah.
And then when I told my mom about that, I didn't know she was my great grandma at the time, but she brought a family photo album through. And then once we got to her picture, I was like, Mom, that's the lady who came to visit me.
Without her
prompting
are you sure
me.
This wasn't her?
No, she was just like, we also looked at family photo albums.
Yeah.
I think it was just like a nostalgic thing that we would do.
Yeah.
And then when we got there, I was like, oh, that's her. And then we go further. I'm like, that's her again. And then like I could put the face to the person who I saw.
So did you have so I guess being younger, did you feel like a little isolated, or did you have like peers that were like, what the hell's wrong with Jasmine? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Mom, she's talking to dead people. Like, did you have that growing up?
I did, but it wasn't necessary. So once I found out that wasn't normal, because I told that to the class.
Okay.
Because I was like, oh yeah, my grandma visited. And then
Yeah.
I like went and then the teacher was like, oh, your great grandma's alive. That's amazing. And I was like, oh no, she's not. She's dead. And like the class was kind of like.
How old would you be?
I would have been in grade 2. So like 6 or 7.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then that's when I realized.
So that's still, you still could have made it, like, they still would have been like, okay, maybe you had like a big imagination or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. But then since then, when other classmates from that time, when they've had experiences, they're like, oh, she wasn't lying. But then that's when I realized not everyone had the experiences, and I kind of quieted it down.
Yeah.
So then that way I wouldn't look so weird.
Yeah.
But where it would come out with friends is sometimes they'd be thinking things and I'd verbalize it out loud. And I wouldn't know that I was doing it. So whether they're singing a song in their head and I start singing it, they switch the song, and then I switch the song right to where they're thinking. That's when I would freak out my friends, because they'd be like, why do you keep saying the things I'm
and
thinking.
you'd be like,
and I'm
bop, do it up.
yeah, but I didn't know I was doing it. It was just the song would pop in my head, and I felt the need to say it.
But what about words? Like, what if they're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this guy's creeping me out or whatever? Or,
yeah,
like
and then
you could, okay.
because sometimes I hear it in my head,
Yeah.
and then I verbalize it, and then they're like, I didn't say that out loud.
So we had somebody else similar on the show a while ago, and she would like she kind of during the times like the high school time, like she would almost try to tone it at like try to ignore it and like because you're almost forced to like, I mean, I've never experienced that. I've always wanted to, but you're almost forced to like, you know, try to ignore it or at least not acknowledge it because everybody else doesn't really understand it. Yeah. Right. And like, so I always found that an interesting part of it. But do you think that there's more people out there than like, you know, let's just say like 1% of the population has this frequency? Do you think that there would be more people and they just choose to like say like that was weird or that was a coincidence? Or
I think more than 1% of the world has it. And I think most people do chalk it up to coincidence or, oh, that was weird type thing. And also when you're a kid, I feel like because we were talking about frequency and how you're turning on to a different frequency, and that's why you're able to maybe see or communicate with the other side. But I think as children, we're very sensitive to it. Yeah. But I also think parents sometimes don't believe in it. So when a kid is coming forward with something, then they're kind of turned down, and then they doubt what they're doing. Yeah. And then they turn it off.
Well, and I think that's it. Like you had the privilege of growing up in a family that was, you know, attuned, like that they understood that. Yeah. Whereas if you didn't, they'd be like, you know, stop making up stories, Jasmine. Like that's not funny anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which it also brought its own challenges because then with friends who didn't experience that kind of thing, then I looked weird. Yeah. And then I would turn it down or ignore it to the point where when I was deciding what I wanted to be when I grew up, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go full force into the medical field. I'm going to be a registered nurse and just go there because then it's science-based. Yeah. Then I'm not going to rely on those gifts or look weird. But life has a funny way of not letting that be the case. And then 20
years later, you're talking about it here on a podcast. Like,
no, exactly.
But that was and I'm going to jump on that, like, because I do feel like it's a conflict, right? It's a science-based versus, you know, more of like spiritual healing or however you want to look at it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so then with that, you went through school. You had your friends now still very much understand it.
Yeah, so even with going to the school, so in our final placement, we had to basically match with 20 different specialties that our top 20 picks and organize it in a way in hopes that you get your number one pick, but it's not very likely. Yeah. And then in that, I just would pick everything to where it felt right. So I wanted to have an emergency department final placement, and that's not very likely. But I ended up getting my number one choice based on looking and seeing how I wanted to rank everything. Yeah. And I feel like that's intuition. So my whole entire life, intuition has played a huge key role. I just wasn't always open about all the other stuff.
Because everybody's got intuition, right? Yes. Like to me, I'm always like, okay, trust your gut. Like you something's not right here. And I always tell the kids that, right? Like just, you know, normally if something's off, there usually is a reason for it, right?
Exactly.
But that's what you're saying.
Yeah. And then also energy, we attract energy. So then if you're getting on well with other people and not so much other people, it's because you're at the same frequency and you probably have the same core values and beliefs. So if somebody feels off to you, it's probably because they have a different way of thinking also. So you attract people.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing though,
no,
right?
Not necessarily a bad thing, no.
Okay. So a question for you. Do you think that there should, and this just popped into my head, and this is how brilliant I am,
okay, let's hear.
Do you think there should be a school for people like you to like Hogwarts, to hone your craft, you know, or just become a little more accustomed to normalizing it? Or is there already?
I don't know if there is one already. I feel like it would be interesting, but it also might make them feel more isolated. Yeah. Too. But I feel like it could be a good idea too, because then you'd also be further along in your gifts.
Yeah, and you'd know, right? Like
Yeah.
you'd know if it's if it's normal, like, because then you're around other people that are kind of like-minded.
No, exactly.
Right? Maybe like an after-school program or something.
Yeah, maybe
Right?
they do have a school.
And
like
you'd
that.
have ghosts flowing in and out of there. Like there'd be a lineup.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so then with school, like, I guess so. Your great grandmother came, right? Have your mom and you ever witnessed the same? Like, have you guys ever out for tea and then your great grandmother joins you?
I haven't had that happen, but also, so my bubby, her mom, has also passed away.
Yeah.
And then when she, so she was really sick with colon cancer.
Okay.
And when I was a kid, I'd always help my mom take care of my bubby. I called her Bubby.
Yeah.
And when she passed away, she popped up into my dream. Like, just as real as you saying, "Hey, Jasmine," like she popped right up into my dream. And it was so real, I thought I was awake. So I opened my eyes and she was gone. And then when I went back to sleep, she popped back in. And she showed me to what I believe is heaven.
Yeah.
Where she brought me up, we floated. So I believe I astral projected. I haven't done that since, but we went up to the sky and there's a park in the sky, and we also walked on the beach. And what I thought was very amazing about that is she couldn't walk without holding my mom's or my hand before because she was so weak.
Yeah.
And she was able to run on the beach and play in the water and not hold my hand. And as a young girl, like I was 7 when she passed away, that was a symbol to me that when you pass on, your earthly like pain also, like you're able to do more there as well. And you can also visit and see your loved ones. And it made me have a different view on the other side where I knew that it's not the end.
Like, how do you distinguish that though from like just a dream? Like, I mean, I get dreams all the time, right? Like,
that's true.
Wouldn't it be nice to, and you're running on the beach, like.
Where I knew it wasn't a dream and that it was real is I didn't know. So my mom was with her during her last moments.
Yeah.
And she said that when you go to heaven, grandma's going to be there, and go walk on the beach until you can't walk anymore. And when you're done, come and let me know and give me a sign that you're okay.
Okay, so that was
She immediately came to me.
Yes.
And then, so when I woke up the next morning, I was, "Mom, Bubby's all better."
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, she wasn't planning on telling me that she passed away that day. She was like, trying to rationalize and come to the terms herself. And then I told her everything that I just told you. And she's like, "Wow, that's what I told her to do. And this is the big sign that she is okay." Because
it's funny, because even for me, sometimes I can, like, I'll go to sleep, and sometimes I feel like somebody's waking me up. And, like, it's nothing, right? Like, I just wake up. But, like, I always tell my wife, I'm like, geez, it felt like, and it wasn't like anything, like, it was almost like sometimes you wake up and you're scared, sometimes you wake up and you feel good, but, like, it wasn't anything in particular, or any, like, there wouldn't be any, I wouldn't say it was a particular person. But, like, so to me, I'm always kind of like, oh, that was just like, it's just the beans I ate for dinner. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's, but it is like, so like when I have a friend of mine that used to always talk about cardinals, and like cardinals is a sign of somebody coming to visit you, and when my brother passed away, we always saw cardinals. And, like, I always kind of, like, my wife was always like, "Oh, look at this," because we've never noticed them before, right? So it's kind of like, I always kind of think, like, how much of it is just in our heads. Like, if you drive a red car, or you drive, whatever it is, right? You see that same car. Like, Kyle drives a Toyota truck. Every time he sees a Toyota truck, he'll be like, "Hey," and they give their wave or whatever. So I always thought, okay, maybe it's that. So I'm always, like, conflicted with it, because I do, like, I've got you here, so I don't think you're full of shit. Okay, but I'm always like, I always want to know, but then I'm like, I don't want to, like, do I want to open that door?
A lot of the times people, like, the other side, it's hard to communicate with people who are also living.
Yeah.
It's a different frequency. So a lot of the times they do send symbols or signs. It could even be something as you're thinking about your brother, and then you go into your car, and then the song that reminds you of him starts playing.
Yeah.
Or, like, you might see a certain number, like if he played sports, and then you're like his jersey number, you're seeing like 7s everywhere or something. And you're like, that reminds me of him. Sometimes we just communicate differently.
But do you think that's like, would you just automatically say, hey, that's a sign? Because even for us, I would talk to my cousin who's in Vancouver, and my brother was on the fire department, and we jump on a call, and then there would be a fire truck that with the lights on that go by. And we were both kind of like, did you, like, we're like, he's like, I'm like, does that happen every time? And he's like, no, it's just like here.
Yeah, I do believe it's their way of saying, hey, I'm here. It's just if you're open to receiving the message. And also it can seem like a huge coincidence.
Yeah.
And it's easy to push it aside.
So how do you determine, like, I mean, I guess you'd be open and you'd say, you know what, that, you know, chances are that's a sign. But like, how do you determine what there's, like, do they come and say things to you, or like, because I find you kind of get these things where like there's no definitive, like it's not like in the dream or whatever. Like for me, I would get something, but it wouldn't be, you know, like I said, this is just a coincidence. But like, do you ever get somebody that comes and like asks you something?
Like a spirit coming and asking me something. So in readings, whether it's the Reiki healing or card reading, sometimes people will come through. Sometimes I'll see them like in my mind's eye. Yeah. And then I more get like this big sense of I need to share the message. So I might not hear it or see it, or I might not see them visually talking to me, but my whole body feels like I need to say feeling. A certain thing. Yeah. Okay.
So then, and then is it just with like, I mean, you're with somebody and then like they're, you know, we had talked about spirit guides earlier. Okay. It's maybe their spirit guide or something that's with them that might want to say something to you. Or do you actually find that people like come, like, you know, like come to you?
It honestly depends. So I am definitely a developing medium. My gifts are more like with psychic messages. Yeah. So when they do come and like they're like, hey, I have this message for so and so, like it definitely catches me off guard, just because like it's not an everyday normal occurrence. Yeah. But it is beautiful when it happens, because I'll be like, sometimes I won't get the name, but I'll be like, oh, they were like a mother figure to you. They're not your mom. Yeah. But they just want to let you know that they're very proud and like it's going to be okay. Like a lot of the times they just want their family here to know, like
it's not like tell so and so to stay away from my wife, you know.
I haven't gotten that. Okay. I'm sure other people have, but yeah.
So okay, so let's break it. So you've had this gift. There's certain times in your life that you've kind of toned it down. Yeah. And then you finished high school, and then you went right into nursing. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then so I guess let's jump on that train there with nursing and your gift. I mean, to me, they'll bump heads. You've got the medical field, and then you've got something else. So what's your take on that, for one? And do you think that maybe it makes you a better nurse as a result? Maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I found that I definitely tried to suppress my gifts and just go full on into the medical part of it. But I also found that the more I tried to push it down, the more it would just come up. Yeah. Almost like putting Pepto into like a Pepsi container. Like if you've ever seen that chemical reaction happen, like love it explodes. Love it. Sorry, it's fun. But it's just hard to turn it off. Okay. When it just wants to come through. And I have found that like people coming into the emergency department, a lot of the times, like I would just I called it nursing intuition, where I would know if it's a big deal or if like they're okay. So whether or not like that chest pain is going to lead to like a big heart attack or whatever it is, like I would find that I would have a sixth sense with it and be able to like prepare. But also, it's just whenever those coincidences would happen, I would be like, okay, it was just my nursing intuition. Yeah. Like everyone has that too. Like, and a lot of nurses do have like really good intuition. And I feel like that also sets aside like mediocre nurses to like the great ones in a way, because they follow those gut reactions or like intuition, where they're like, hey, something bigger is happening here. We need to do further testing, versus, oh, just send them home.
Yeah,
Like, you know?
yeah. And you hear that, right? But like, but you also hear the other stories where they're like, okay, yeah, something's going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that could be from experience, but like, even for us, when I negotiate an offer, there's sometimes where I can like, oh, we got this. Like,
Yeah.
no, don't worry. I know they really want it. And it could be, the verbiage or the tonality, but like, I'm just like, I just know. Right.
Yeah.
So like there's certain things there. But so then so with some of the other nurses, I mean, most likely they may have some sort of frequency that they really don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's another job position that they could, on public health, they could.
Right. I'm
right?
not sure
like
how open they would be.
Somebody just goes through and walks in. Like, have you ever shaken somebody's hand or met somebody and said like, these people are sick? Like not just like, meeting me out in the foyer there, but like, have you ever had that where you're like,
I've not necessarily sick, but I've had it where I'm putting on ECG stickers and then I just have like a horrible feeling like in my body where I'm like, they did something really bad, but I don't want to get into it. And then like, and I'll even say to the nurse, like, I can't go in that room. Like, I feel like sick.
Yeah.
And they're like, Jasmine, like that person wasn't like overly nice, but they weren't like your response is kind of big for no reason. And then later finding out that they did like do stuff. And then
would you be able to know if they were like let's say I had cancer?
Yeah.
And like, have you had that aspect where you're like have you had that kind of feeling?
Not, it's always been more like heart related.
Like this guy's okay, hearts. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have a client of mine, and Kyle and I have talked to her ostensibly about just her feelings, and she is very similar where like there's flies, like there's a showing and there's flies in the house, and she's like, oh man, no, there's something going on. I doesn't like that buyer, and we were working with that buyer, but it didn't come together, and so there was something there, but like she was like, she's like, they probably left the door open, but she's like, there's no way that like 20 flies like come in. Yeah. So she's like, I killed 5, and then she'd be like, there'd be another fly right where I killed the fly.
Yeah. Flies are not normally a good omen.
Yeah.
Like when you have a lot of them congregating like that. So yeah, no, I agree with her 100% there.
Shout out to CJ. So then you're in nursing, you're in the hospital. You said before you were a little naive. You didn't think that there would be like spirits or anything in the hospital.
Yeah.
And like, so tell me about that. Like, cause some of these old hospitals, I mean, like they're creepy anyways. They're creepy for a guy like me,
Yeah. So I was working in like a small town hospital.
Yeah.
And then it was when I first started orientation, and in my head I was like, okay, I'm not going to let anyone know that I'm spiritual. I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
Okay. Like medical all the way, spirituality out the window. They're not going to know a thing. I'm so smart, like type thing. And I didn't even finish my orientation without them knowing, because it was my second weekend and I'm charting. It's on the night shift and I'm like charting about my patients. And then all of a sudden I see this elderly lady come out of the room, and she's wearing these bright pink pajamas, which I thought was weird because everyone's in a hospital gown. So then I immediately stood up because I'm like, she's an elderly lady, automatically you're at a higher risk for falling. Also wondering, why didn't the bed alarm?
Yeah.
Because we normally have the sensors on, so then that way if somebody's getting up or close to getting up, it lets us know, the alarm goes off, we can go help them, so then they don't fall and hurt themselves. So I'm like, how did she get past this alarm, and what is she doing? So I stood up to go help her, but as soon as I turned to help her, she just disappeared. And I was like, that was weird. So then I sat back down and continue charting.
But you wouldn't in your thought process, you're like, yeah, that was weird, but you knew what it was.
Yeah. So I sat back down.
But like, are they like looking at you on the cameras and you're like, excuse me, ma'am? And then like, there's nobody there, or like.
Well, so it happened 2 more times.
Yeah. Same person? Same
person. But then I'm also like, so it wasn't my room because the rooms are divided up. So it was the other nurse. I'm like, well, maybe there is somebody in pink pajamas. I don't know. But then they're like, Jasmine, why do you keep standing up and sitting down? Like, what's so important? And I was like, I don't I don't know what to do. So I was like, I'm just going to tell them the truth because I'm the world's worst liar.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point. So I'm like, okay, there's a lady in pink pajamas and she keeps peeking her head through, but I know she's a spirit because she keeps disappearing on me.
Yeah.
And then the nurse who was in charge of that room is like, yeah, like, no one's in pink pajamas. Everyone is sleeping. The bed alarms haven't gone off. So why do you, like, type thing? I'm like, I know. Like, my rational brain knows.
Yeah.
But then, like, at that point, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to help this lady. But yeah, so then I didn't even last through orientation before they figured out as the nurse who can see the other side.
Like, would they not have had some sort of other experience like that? Like, somebody else would have done that?
Yeah, so not the lady in the pink pajamas, but other people did have experiences. So another experience on the same floor, I would hear babies crying, children laughing, and, like, movement. And I'm like, in this hospital in particular, there's no children's ward. Yeah. So I thought it was really weird, so I didn't tell anybody. But eventually I did, because I was like, this is just keeps happening.
Tell those kids down there to shut up.
Yeah, and if you've ever seen a scary movie, like, the children's stuff is always the scariest.
I'm getting goosebumps now.
So, like, I was, like, internally freaking out. I was like, what is going on? Like, there's no ward here, like, for this to be happening. So then I finally just asked, and they're like, yeah, like, the floor above us used to be the labor and delivery ward, and there was a pediatric floor somewhere else. And they're like, we've also heard it. So then I was like, okay, perfect. I'm not the only one. I'm like, I'm seeing the elderly and now children. So I'm like, what is going on here?
So with the lady in the pink pajamas, like, how did you see her? Like, did you see her, like, clear as day? Like, I'm here? Or, like, was she at a distance? Was she blurry? Was she,
was at a distance. So I was charting. And I saw her out of the corner of my eye. I just saw, like, a lady poke her head out and wearing, like, I could see the pink pajamas. Yeah. And then when I turned to look, I, like, saw her. But she was also transparent, but I was also like, wait, are my eyes playing trick on me? Yeah. Like, is there somebody coming out of the room?
Yeah.
Because I was also new and I was like,
and you're trying to
I need to make a good impression. Yeah. I'm a girl, you know?
Yeah, like, imagine someone did come out of the room, right?
No, exactly.
And you're like, it was a spirit, you know?
Yeah. And they're like, no, exactly.
Yeah, she actually went out the front door.
Yeah. So, yeah, it just, my whole game plan went completely out the window.
So how do you, like, I mean, I guess if you can't really turn it off, right? How do you keep on, like, you know, like, I mean, I've seen some people welcome it, and then other people are like, holy shit, like, can you just stop bugging me? You know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, to me, I think it's a gift, but if I look at, like, you know, how many dead people, you know, it's like, I don't know. Like, you might be bugged a whole bunch of times, right? Like, so I guess, like, what's your thoughts on that?
So at that point, I was really bad at turning it off.
Okay.
I feel like I was, like, my door wide open.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. And then now I'm more better at setting energetic boundaries.
Yeah.
Just like with people, you have to have boundaries and stick up for yourself. It's the same in that whole spiritual department.
So you just, like, shut the door.
Exactly. So unless I'm doing something in relation to that field, so if I'm in a reading, doing Reiki or a card reading or whatever, I generally have it turned off because it can also be very draining energetically to always be turned on in that way.
Did you notice anything when you came in the office?
No.
No?
No, not. I also had it a bit turned off because I wanted to turn it on for, like, the interview.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So, so how long were you a nurse for?
I've been a nurse for, like, 7 or 8 years.
And then how long in the actual hospital?
4 or 5, yeah.
And you were in a small hospital before, and then did you move hospitals or did you stay in that one?
Yeah, I was in that hospital for a majority of the time, but I was also in bigger hospitals in Kitchener.
Did you notice any more activity in the bigger hospitals?
Yeah, I noticed the same amount. Like, I would see spirits and stuff.
And so now you could just turn it off and do what you need to do, and then.
Exactly.
But does it ever help anybody? Like, I always looked at some of these, like around here, there's houses where like, you're like, okay, like that one, like we have, you know, the Boys Academy, and the headmaster's daughter died years ago, Lucy, and the owners for that one would be like, oh, that's a Lucy, don't worry, that's Lucy, and she'd flicker around with the lights, and there'd be nothing wrong, and oh, that's just Lucy. And I always like is Lucy stuck there for like eternity? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always kind of felt bad for those like spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to call them, because it's like they're stuck there. People don't like to interact with them the same. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sometimes I think people don't know that they died.
Okay.
And then also sometimes people are very sentimental to where they spent a lot of time here. So sometimes people like don't want to leave. Also, like if Lucy was there for a long time, she's probably checking up to see how everything's going and just like protecting the place. So
she might not be there all the time, but she's like coming in and out.
Exactly. Checking in.
Can you tell them to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. And there's a way to do that?
Yeah, so you can say it out loud. You could also sage or smudge to like get energy and stuff out of the area if it's bugging you. But if she sounds like a friendly spirit, then like what's the harm? But you
can distinguish between like friendly and non-friendly?
Yeah, it's more of a feeling.
Like an energy?
Yeah.
So like you like something would come across like we talked about the movie The Sixth Sense and getting cold when a spirit comes in the room, right? Yeah. Is it something like that?
Yeah, I kind of I'll also get more anxiety. Like I'll feel it in my heart.
Yeah.
Like like my heart will race and I'm like, okay, like you need to leave me alone. And then other times I'll feel like warmth.
And you feel that these guys coming in know, like they would come into this room and look at us three, and then they would like go to you because I wouldn't pay them any. Like I say us three, there's only two of us on camera. They're like, he can do it too.
Yeah.
Kyle's right here. But like they would be like gravitating towards you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like if you're closed off, they know who they can approach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Okay, so then before we leave the nursing, because I want to jump into Reiki, what's like the creepiest thing that's ever happened?
The creepiest?
Creepy. Yeah. Like what's the like...
The creepiest thing, of course I was by myself because it was a night shift and two nurses were like working on the night shift on this floor. And the nurses station, how it worked is there's two desks and then they're kind of in an L. So then behind the one desk, there's a bathroom door. And I heard the bathroom door open. So I turned around because it was behind me and like it just like opened. And I thought nothing of it. I'm like, it's an old hospital. Things can open, whatever. But I thought that. And the moment I said that, in my mind, the door started opening and closing very sporadically. Like it would fling, stop, and like stop in sporadic movements. And I was like, okay, I get it. It's not the wind. And then that's when like the door stopped moving. I didn't see like anything besides the door moving.
Yeah.
And then it's the middle of the winter when that was happening. So I'm like, there's no windows open, but I'm going to check the whole floor to make sure.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything open. That was kind of spooky because I was by myself and it was almost like they knew my thoughts because I was like, oh, it's nothing. And then they're like, no, it isn't nothing. I'll show you.
But they didn't present themselves.
No, I didn't see. No.
And you think that they can if they choose to?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they're kind of there, and then they're playing around with the door. But if they wanted to, it could be...
Mm-hmm.
That's...
Just because sometimes it's a feeling. If I'll know there's a presence there, but I won't see it.
Yeah,
I'm
just getting goosebumps now. This is creeping me out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So now you've had the gift. You know the gift. You've kind of suppressed it. You've learned how to turn it off. You're into nursing. Then what kind of made you decide to say like, okay, a Reiki master or like tarot card reader or anything like that? Like now you have basically two careers, right?
Yeah.
Nursing, and what would you classify yourself as?
Energy healer.
An energy healer.
Intuitive, yeah.
Okay. So then so when did you make that jump to say, Okay, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to become an energy healer.
Yeah, so it was during the whole COVID era.
Okay. So
And
it wasn't that long ago.
No, and I could sense where the pain was. Like if someone was nonverbal, I could feel it on myself. And
Yeah.
like that's what I'm saying when the hospital was really draining. It's because I felt like I was a lighthouse.
Yeah.
And everything was just like coming and presenting itself. And I would just get so drained and I wouldn't be able to do anything outside of work. Like I would just be sleeping and chilling because I had no energy to do anything besides do my 4 on, 5 off type thing. And then I thought, you know what? Not everybody feels this way. And like a common thing that other nurses would say is if they were anxious, they would just stand right beside me and like to calm themselves and feel better. And I was now knowing what I know now, that's like they were latching on to my energy to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
And then I thought,
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. So yeah, neither did I until like everyone would be like, yeah, whenever I feel bad, I just go hang out by Jasmine and I feel better. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to say. And then when multiple people start saying it, you're kind of like, okay, like this must be something I don't know about.
Yeah.
And then after I had that thought, that's when Reiki started popping into my life. And then I found a teacher, and then I was so invested in it that like I quickly became a Reiki master. And then also there's a different type of Reiki called Karuna Reiki. And then I went to go do that. And it was something I was like, okay, like with my nursing background and my spiritual background, I felt like it was a cool amalgamation. Because then when I connect to people and then with energy healing, the way I do it is I go chakra based. Have you ever heard about chakras?
No.
So you have 7 main chakra centers in your body. So it starts with you have your crown, your third eye, your throat chakra, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root.
Okay.
And so I normally go in that area and like all 7 of them to like get the messages and just clear and cleanse the energy. And
is that part of Reiki?
That's part of Reiki. And like I learned about that during Reiki. And when I'm connecting to the different areas, because before you're asking if I could see cancer or sense cancer or something like that. If I see a block in someone's energy in those areas, I normally ask like, is this energetic or is it medical? So I don't normally like go like right to like cancer or whatever, but I'll either see like if it's energetic, I'll just see green, and then if it's medical, I'll hear like an ECG.
Really?
Yeah.
So break it down then. Break the Reiki down. Like for somebody out there that's never done it, or like I mean everybody's heard about it. Mm-hmm. What is it? Where does it come from? Is it like, you're the Reiki master? Like tell me like just for the audience out there that's really wondering what the heck it is, just throw that in there.
At its basic term, it's energy healing. Universal life force energy is what Reiki breaks down into. It originated from Japan. Okay. The Usui master, and that's the last name of the person who created it. A lot of people think it started earlier on too, but just different names. Yeah. Which makes sense. Energy has always been around us. Yeah. And then even like Newton has his laws, like energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Yeah. Like there's energies around us. And then so with that, you just scan the person and see where the blocks are. And you can feel it. For me, I can feel it in my hand and sometimes like on my own body. And then basically how you know if you do need energy healing is I like to do this traffic light analogy. So when you're having a green light day, everything's working out for you. Yeah. You're hitting all the green lights. You're like, wow, everything's just working out. I feel great. So that's when your energy is balanced. And then you have like the yellow light days where things they're not going great, but they're not going bad. Yeah. And like you're kind of feeling okay. Maybe you need extra coffee that day or whatever, but like you're surviving and you don't think anything's really going wrong. Then you have the red light days. That's when your purse gets stuck on your front door and like everything's working out. You spilled the coffee on your shirt and now you have to change again, or you're hitting every single red light. And then we all have days like that. So on red light days, we're feeling really off. You might feel not grounded. You might feel more anxious or just not yourself, not your usual self. You're not feeling optimal. And like, that's a great time to go get Reiki because it helps balance you out and get rid of any blocks. And then also you can kind of get messages and insights as to why the blocks are there and how to prevent them from happening in the first place. I'm really big on self-empowerment. I think that's also from my nursing background, where I'm like, I like to put the power into my client's hands. So it's like, okay, so this is why you have the block, and these are different tools you can use to keep that from happening again.
Yeah.
And then it's also like a nice little checkup.
Yeah. So like when you do that, like, is Reiki like, are they lying down? Are they sitting up? Like, you know what I mean? Like what, like how do you deal with their, like, you know, is it like woo-saw? Like what?
So I have like a massage table. So you just wear comfortable clothing, you lay on it, there's pillows and blankets. And then you can also do it like sitting in a chair if somebody doesn't feel comfortable, like getting up onto the massage table.
Yeah.
And then, I have like eye masks. I play relaxing meditative music. If people are okay with smells, sometimes I'll put incense or use essential oils into it. It's just a nice, relaxing session.
You put like stones on their forehead or
something?
something?
Yeah, I'll use crystals. So I have a lot of crystals, and then I'll use whatever one is popping up to me that I feel like my client needs at that time. And then I do quiet sessions. So you're laying there, you have your eye mask, the music's playing, and it's a nice quiet Zen time. So, and then at the end, I go through the messages.
But what are you doing? Like, are you like...
So I'm tapping into all of their chakras.
You hover. Like, what do you do?
I start first, like, hovering, seeing where the imbalances are. I scan their body.
Okay.
And then I'll feel it in my hand.
Okay.
Like where, so I could feel like pain or pins and needles or maybe extra heat or cold, like different stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll know like which chakras need more attention than the others.
Okay.
And then I find the chakra system just helps keep everything organized too, like just going in order. From when you start, exactly. And then, so I start with the scanning, then I'll clear. And then touch if the person is okay with it. Yeah. I'll like lay my hands on the areas as well.
So how long does that take? Like how long does the whole process take?
An hour.
About an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have regular customers that come to you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like monthly, every week or monthly?
Monthly. And then some people come every season, like just as like a fresh season tune up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people come more regularly if they're going on with like emotional things in their life or they're just feeling it. But
yeah. Because I never really understood the whole crystals thing, and I didn't really know until they had to get energized. So we had a lady in the office here, and she was like, "Yeah, here's a crystal, but you got to put it in the sun to get energized, and then you can." You know, so it was...
Yeah, there's different ways you can energize the crystal.
What's the other way?
So the sun, the moon.
You know, no.
The sun, the moon, and then some with water. But you have to be careful with water because some crystals will disintegrate in water. So yeah, you have to know your crystal.
Oh, that's a thing. That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
like
that.
selenite, for example, is a crystal that even if like your hands are sweaty, like you can start noticing.
It'll wear down.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, and then another way you could use like sage.
Yeah.
Palo Santo, and you can just smudge your crystals.
Do you smudge when you do Reiki?
I sometimes do. So mine is when my sessions can be very different.
Yeah.
It just depends on what my client needs at that time. So sometimes I do use sage or Palo Santo, and then...
So what are some of the things, like, have you ever found out anything about a client? Like, tell us their name, tell us who it is. Like, have you ever, like, has there ever been anything where you're like, okay, medical or, you know, like mental or whatever? Like, have you ever felt something that a client didn't know?
So
or maybe they didn't know, but they didn't tell you, or they knew, you know?
So a lot of my clients, they'll say, and the reason why they come back is like, things that they've never verbalized out loud or even think they needed to verbalize, those are the messages that come through. Where it's like, I've never told anyone that, but like it feels so good and healing to hear you say that to me. And so, it's like a very healing moment.
Like, what's an example?
So there was this one elderly lady that her whole life she felt like was a burden. She was terrified of being a burden, and it was something that she never really verbalized to anybody. And then the message that I kept writing down is, you are not a burden. You are enough, just the way you are, and you are loved. But like the you are a burden, just you are not a burden kept coming up. And like that was something where she...
And you wrote it down?
I wrote it down. Yeah. And then me like saying that to her, and like however many times I read it, like I'll say it that many times as well. Like, and it will pop up on different parts of the page or whatever. Because I write down the messages so I don't forget them.
Oh, so you go like, you know, from the crown of their head, you know, forehead or whatever,
I go down all the chakra systems. Yeah.
And then you'll be like, oh, interesting. And then you like write down something from the head and then forehead. And then
I just write until the thoughts stop coming into my brain.
Okay.
This is like how it works for me for the most part. Sometimes I'll see things like a movie, but most of the time I feel like...
But you'll still write that down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like what I see. Yeah. I'll write the different messages, and then once like my brain is empty, then like I go on to the next area.
So what's the most impactful moment that you've had during a Reiki session? That, I mean, that might be it, but like, you know, that you've really realized, like, because I mean, there's got to be some degree where you're like, am I really doing this? Like, am I really going to try to make a living doing this? And then where's the part where you're like, okay, I got, like, this is it. I'm helping people. Yeah.
So you just can't make up the messages that come through.
Okay.
And I feel like sometimes I'll be writing things down. I'm like, this makes no sense, but I'm writing it down anyway. Where like, even if they're my friends, like I'm like, I don't understand why this is coming up, but I'm writing it down. And when I share that information, like that's when sometimes the tears come up. Yeah. Because it's like, how I've never told a single person this, and you're making me feel so validated and heard. Or why, or like a lot of people who also go to therapy and stuff, they're like, you say everything my therapist says, but I don't have to talk to you.
It's like, so it's a lot of trauma that you like.
Yeah. And then it's also like shows them like, you're seeing me for me, and I don't even need to talk to you, but like you're picking up on the energy and everything that I need to hear right now. Yeah. And like even like the advice that is given to them, like the same advice will come up through the Reiki session that they, like with the counseling session they had.
What kind of advice?
So it could either be like setting boundaries or doing things more for you. Like a lot of the times I find even like mothers, they get so consumed with being a mom that they forget their own identity and they forget the things that they enjoy. Yeah. A lot of the times messages about things that they've forgotten, even about themselves. Before they became a mom, they're like, I used to love doing that. Oh my gosh, like that's such a great idea. A lot, like normally there isn't any new breakthrough information. There can be, but a lot of it, it's like validating how they feel. And it's like they feel heard and seen and like protected in that moment.
So then does the Reiki, like, so someone will come with a session on the Reiki. Then does that, like, is that a tarot card too, or?
Yeah. So I have different like packages. So some people, they want to feel good. They don't want any messages. They just want to feel balanced and energetically in alignment. Yeah. So the Reiki covers that. And then I also have a package where you can do the Reiki and the spiritual counseling, which is the messages that come through when I'm connecting to them and writing that down.
So if someone just wanted to do the Reiki with no messages, like what if you got a message? It's like, don't go home, you know?
If there's something that's really popping up, I ask, like if it's something like that, like take a different way home, of course, sharing that.
Yes, don't get on the freeway, you know?
Yeah. But like if it's like the deeper messages that maybe they're not ready to kind of like tackle that, they just need to feel good. They just need to feel better than they're feeling.
So then Brooklyn mentioned something about Oracle.
Yeah.
Like,
so tarot and Oracle cards, they're similar. They're different.
Tarot or tarot?
Tarot.
Okay. Tarot.
OT.
Oh, it is there, but it's a silent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because I was like, tarot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
The NT is silent.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's tarot cards.
Just in case anybody out there is wondering about that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's tarot cards and there's Oracle cards. Some people are more like afraid of tarot cards because they have like, so there's like the devil card and the death and the tower card. Like there's some cards that don't look very nice.
Yeah.
Whereas Oracle cards, they could be saying the same thing, but it's more visually pleasing and less scary in that way.
Do they come from the same school of thought, or like one tarot cards come from one place and
like so tarot cards began it, and then like people also like there's angel cards and like which are also
where's
Oracle
the
cards.
origin for the tarot cards? Do you know?
I not super familiar with it, but they were cards from what I gathered like medieval times.
Can anybody touch those?
Yeah, you can touch them.
Can I? Yeah.
Some people are particular about their deck.
Yeah, I was like,
but I cleanse mine, so it's okay.
You?
Yeah,
but they're all like on the. They're all the same. Like they're not all flipped around or.
No, so I've used them. Like there's probably some upright or some reversed in there. Like
really,
they might all be together. I don't know.
All right, so we're gonna do a reading, okay? Yeah. I got to take a quick bathroom break because I don't want my energy to like ruin this. All right, give me a second. If you have to go to the bathroom, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on, Kyle.
I'm holding
on. Do you have a preference on?
I like these. I like to look at those ones. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I know. So I like pretty aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Decks.
This is kind of cool because it reminds me like of a leather book.
Yeah. We'll start here then.
The gold, yeah.
Okay, so I always like to ask, what does Tyler need for his highest good? Unless you want it to go a specific way.
No, I don't. So what do I need for my highest good?
Yeah.
So like accountability.
Oh, it was more like, what do the cards think you need?
Oh. Okay. So I don't need to know.
Well,
you're telling the cards.
I was first saying unless you wanted to go like business.
No,
business,
let's
career.
let's let her go.
Okay, so like whatever message for your highest good that needs to come out.
Right.
Okay.
I can always edit this out, right, Kyle?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, let's see this. You dropped one.
Yes.
Okay.
Good observation.
All right. Thank you.
I like to shuffle, and the follow-up cards are important.
Okay.
So far, the first card that came through is compassion.
Okay.
For yourself, others, for your heart. So.
Can I touch that card?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not one of the ones that are like, you can't touch.
Yeah, because your energy is going to rub off.
Yeah. But you can cleanse different. I can cleanse the deck and everything. And even knocking on it cleanses it.
Soften heart.
And then choice also came through. Look at it in just a moment. Just seeing if there's anything else. What do you think of the cards so far? They're pretty, huh?
Yeah, they are pretty. Yeah. They're all women.
Mindful, Mike.
Oh, be mindful. Okay.
Okay. So I just need to take a peek at them,
yeah,
and I'll get them for you to see them. Okay. So at first, what I'm seeing is a lot of the things that are coming up is communication based. So whether it's having compassion for yourself, others, or like perspective shifts. Okay. But I also feel like probably because of this discussion that we've been having, you're opening up your consciousness or like looking into it. Like you've always been a believer in the supernatural, but maybe haven't really like a believer in a sense, like a skeptical believer.
Okay.
And then also the card that came through is choice with life direction, how you respond, and coincidences.
Okay.
So I feel like this card in particular has a dual meaning meaning you probably have a lot of ideas going on in your mind right now that or different directions that you could even take your current business, and you're just trying to come up with the choice of the direction you want to go, and you're starting to come to that, but you also have to know that no matter how big your goals are, to have compassion for yourself with where you are at in this moment, and know that everything is like leading you towards your ultimate goals. But I find that sometimes we can get really fixated in the immediate like results, but having that perspective shift also. So evaluate your beliefs, maybe tap more into your intuition and messages that you've been getting that you've also been ignoring. So whether you're seeing numbers, have you heard about like angel numbers and stuff?
No.
So angel numbers, you can see it on the clock. So if you've noticed that every time you're looking at the clock and it's like 222 or 1213 or whatever number that you're always seeing, that can have a big message. And especially if you're thinking about something a lot and you're seeing the same number during that time when you're thinking about things, even looking it up and seeing what that number means online, like angel number, whatever meaning.
I thought that was just luck. Like if you see like 333 or 222 or like, you know what I mean? You're like, it's 222, make a wish.
Yeah. So a lot of people do chalk it up to like, oh, like what a coincidence. I've seen this so much. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But so it's a sign that you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. And also when you're looking at the specific number and in relation to what it is that you're thinking about a lot, it's another further sign.
Okay.
Whether it's proceeding with caution or you're on the right track or whatever like that. And then also the card Inner Darkness came out. So holding a safe space, knowing patterns, release, and feed. So just if you notice yourself going into any toxic pattern, whether it's like ignoring how you feel or even emotions, to just tap into it a bit more, because they're there for a reason. And I feel like you're going to bring a lot of like connection and conversations to like everybody through this podcast. So keep doing what you're doing. And I feel like also all of these cards are a huge thing, being like you have a lot of courage and the choices you're making are like in alignment with your ultimate purpose, with whatever that is, but to be nicer to yourself, your inner thoughts more so. A lot of this is like your inner dialogue that you might not be sharing with like, people.
No, and I mean, I can get some like correlation with some of them. Kyle's telling me about the microphone, with some of them too, even with the choice, right? Like, I mean, Kyle will tell you I'm like all over the place, right? Like we should do this, blah, 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 you know, or you should do this, Kyle.
But with the choice, like ultimately, so when I'm seeing all of these moon phases, to me, that is a huge symbol about like we all are in a certain rhythm. Okay. And like with your choices, if you're going with how you feel and like things do take time, I think there's a lot of like patient messages also in this. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, you make a choice, it does take time to happen, but ultimately every choice that you have been making is leading to the collective's higher good. Yeah. So like having different people on the podcast and bringing those conversations to light and everything, it's not only helping you, but like also the people watching the video. So it's really cool. And like, it takes a lot of courage to do that and step out of your comfort zone and learning new things. Yeah. And I think it's cool to just not suppress, like how you're feeling also, because I think especially men, they can suppress all of that stuff and just like bottle it down. And then again, I'm seeing the Pepsi Mentos thing. So it's like,
right. And it is true. Like we always joke around here where we're like, you know, bury it deep down inside and never bring it up again, you know? And, but even with our podcast, it's an interesting dynamic because like a lot of the times, you know, it's like, it's a lot of work and we put a lot of work already now. So it's a little more fluent for us, but finding guests and who do we pick to be on here? But then again, who listens to it? Cause sometimes, you know, you get a handful of people that will listen to it. And then in our way is that it's, all you need to connect with is one. Mm-hmm. Right?
Exactly.
And we have people that we've never really met message us on the podcast like, hey, I don't know you. I live on your street. But I just want to let you know that I've watched the last couple podcasts and I thought the one with, Farmer Tim was really good. Mm-hmm. So it's been neat that way. How it relates to our business, we're still trying to figure that one out.
Mm-hmm. And also like, I believe that sometimes the journey is just as important.
Yes.
Like you're unclear on it right now because you're leaving room for unknowns to also like come in.
Yeah.
Because like if you don't know who your guests are necessarily going to be like 4 months from now.
Yeah.
But it's opening up the doors. And I think like God, the universe, however you want to look at it,
yeah,
is bringing those opportunities, but just to be mindful again of your inner dialogue and everything. And like journey. To bring more compassion, and the journey ultimately is bringing people together.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll be, everything is going to be really good. It's just, it's more
cool.
about your inner
thoughts,
but you have the courage to do it and everything, but don't be afraid to be vulnerable.
Yes. Like cry.
Well, yeah, we don't have to cry, but yeah, like just like not being afraid to like share that too, because a lot of people like to also hear what you have to say too. And like, if the opportunity presents itself, don't be afraid to like lean into how you feel and everything. Cause I feel like that will be very impactful too, because you're here every week or however often you're releasing the stuff, and people are going to connect with you. Yeah. They're going to connect with your guests too, but like, don't be afraid to be like compassionate to yourself. And that will also allow you to be compassionate to others as well.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Okay, let's see if there's any other messages.
All right, let's do it.
What else does Tyler need to hear? So it's like Leo season, so I find it funny how a lion came out.
Nice.
Okay.
Did those just came out, like all three of them?
Yeah, together, yeah. Okay, so the first one is sovereign, reclaim, preserve, govern, and remember. So how I feel with this is, don't forget why it is you're doing what you're doing.
Okay.
And like, if you always have your why in your heart,
then
like everything is going to like fall and be more effortless. Sometimes we can get so distracted with the how and everything, but as long as you're communicating and acting like through a place of love, your heart, passion, it works out. And with the lion, like they're very majestic and they do bring a lot of people together. It's a very regal kind of animal.
Yeah.
It's on a lot of family crests and everything. And like, you'll be able to be that light and like that voice. And then also with the empath, feel, relate, understand, and console. I feel like you're already...
I love roses. I just like...
Yeah.
It's just a thing.
Yeah. So this one looks like your tattoo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But also like, even just from speaking with you, you already feel like very empathetic, that you're able to connect with people. And I think that's what makes a great like host. And like, whether it's like talk shows or podcasts or anything like that, like being able to relate to somebody on a human level, even if it's not on a topic that you're aware of, but you're open to like learn and understand and like empathize through their experience and bring that to the world. Like, I think that's amazing. And then also your sorceress, summon, conjure, weave, enchant. So like you're bringing like magic, for lack of a better word, because the card is sorcery, like onto the internet, like bringing
Voodoo.
people together that might not necessarily talk otherwise, or like as you're growing the following, you're opening their mind and everything, just as much as you're opening your own. So I think it's really cool what you're doing.
Okay, good. Oh, that's awesome. Uh-oh. What?
Oh,
you
no.
Hesitated.
No. I was looking. I also look at like the imagery. So a lot of like the blue that came through, it's a talk show host. You're doing a lot of talking, and like sound is very healing. And yeah, just don't be afraid to even like dive into yourself.
Yeah.
And like your stories and everything, instead of it being like so like
about somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then also creates that like more natural flow.
Yeah.
And then also lets people into you, which is why like you're going to continue to create the following.
Yeah.
Like you're the one on the videos every time.
That's
so
cool.
Don't be afraid to like shine.
All right, good.
Lion.
I find with videos you do like you everybody, you try to be authentic, but a lot of the times you're like, oh no, we can't do that, or we can't do that, or so you are, there is a bit of a push and pull, and we're always constantly having that dialogue where like, what can we talk about, or what should you talk about, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Kyle's telling me to push my thing.
But I also feel like you're coming from like a good place. So what bad can like really kind of happen or whatever. And everything comes out for a reason also. Again, a lion came out.
Oh, nice. I was just going to say that. Like,
Okay, so like this is like one of those cards that people are afraid of, but I kind of like the card too, because so with the Tower and how I see it with this is you're breaking down like.
What's the Tower mean?
So the Tower, it's about things like crumbling that are built on an unsteady foundation.
Okay.
And then also in an like inauthentic way. Yeah. So like with this, I feel like your podcast, you're more bringing authenticity and you're breaking down the different barriers. Because I feel like I've been repeating this, but by bringing different people and different viewpoints, you're allowing other people to also open up their minds. And I feel like with the Ace of Swords, that's a really big thing about new beginnings with like the words, communication, talking, your mind, how you think. And then you're also pushing that boundary and giving strength to even other people. So like whether it's the listeners, the people coming onto your podcast, or yourself, you're able to push people out of their comfort zone and start new conversations and new ways of thinking. So you're kind of breaking down those old societal norms that people think are right.
Or we're ready to, or like everything's going to fall down around me.
No, but with all the other, with all the other cards, like I'm seeing more of a positive interpretation than a negative.
Could you look at it too, like, or like I guess this is like, it's not built on a solid foundation, mm-hmm. but could you look at it more like building on the foundation, like, or you need to build a foundation? Or is that not?
Yeah, you could also look at it that way. The thing that's really cool about the tarot cards is you could look and see different things. Like, you don't need to know what the cards mean. Yeah. You can look at it and each card tells a story. And when each card comes out with other cards, it also tells a story. That's cool. Yeah.
Do they all, like, is this normally, like, does the tarot cards have, like, 3 separate decks?
So there's 2 main decks.
Yeah.
You have the major arcana and the minor arcana.
Okay.
So then the major is like things like the Tower and Strength, where it's like big life events.
Yeah.
And then the minor ones are like the Ace all the way to like the 10 of Swords, and then like the King, Queen, Knight, Page.
But your decks, like, to me, when I think tarot cards, mm-hmm. like, this is what I think, and not these.
Like, they're separate.
Yeah. Like, that, like, because you have 3 separate decks.
Cards,
okay, these are Oracle. Okay, and then
these are tarot.
But these are both Oracle cards, like Oracle decks. Mm-hmm. Okay. And
there's a lot of different decks out there.
Do you do readings just based on tarot cards?
Yeah, so I like to use different cards because I feel like different messages, or also sometimes the same cards come out. So for example, in this deck, the Sovereign card came out, which has a lion, and this is the Strength. And like Sovereign is like a very strength card. Yeah. So even though that's an Oracle card and this is a tarot card, a lot of the same messages are similar. And that also pushes me to be like, okay, so like you also need to tap into this. Okay. And then also with the lions coming out, you also have to think about like your ego. So like when you're operating from, if you're like, oh, we can't say this, we can't do this, or whatever, you're limiting also you're limiting things that could come through to help people also.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so this podcast is the vessel to help bring whatever communication it is that you want to bring.
Yeah.
Or opinions or different ways of thinking.
So it's interesting because I always think like if I had a spirit animal, it would be a bear, and it's mainly because I want to get like a bear tattoo on my back. So I might have to change that. But the other thing is the ego. Where in our office or in real estate, we always talk about ego as a bad thing. Like don't let it ruin a deal, or don't let your ego get in the way of trying to complete something else that's a positive for somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I mean, I guess ego can be interchanged great with strength, but yeah, like I use ego, like we use the term. I use the term quite a bit.
But yeah, with the lion, ego is a term that can come up, but also to like kind of let go of it. But it seems like you're doing an awesome job at like breaking that and not letting the ego get in the way.
Yeah, constant battle.
It is a constant battle for sure, because we all want to look good or come across as like I know everything.
Yeah.
Or like my way is perfect
Yeah.
or whatever. But you have to also bring some sort of like humbleness into the situation and know like other people can bring an extra layer that you may not have even thought about. And I think that's what's great about being like an awesome like boss and person that people can look up to, is knowing when your ego is in the way and when you can get it out of.
Yeah, and it is hard. Like I mean, yeah, I guess too with our business is like a high stress environment, but I always kind of look at even videos or whatever where somebody can look at the video and say, you know, this guy's so full of shit, and then other people can like oh my god, yeah, that makes so much sense. You know, like so like but we always know there's going to be people out there that might not agree, and but you got to keep going anyways. But it is like, you know, it's exhausting sometimes.
Like, yeah, and even as like it pertains to card readings and stuff, like you need to hear the message, but like take what resonates. You can leave the rest. Like it doesn't need to be a huge like fight in the comment section or
like I could take this and be like, I'm strong, I got the ace of
best
swords,
ideas
like I'm building my towers, I'm a lion, you know, I'm sweet like a rose. It is cool though, eh? So like, hey, do you ever do this and get like really bad readings?
Well,
or really bad vibes?
So like sometimes like I've had somebody come for a card reading for like potential legal things like coming up and everything, and or like if they don't feel like they can trust their lawyer, or like different clarity, because you can ask like the tarot card yes and no questions, and like every card can either be a yes no, a strong yes or no, or like a kind of tame yes or no. So sometimes a lot of clarity has come through, whereas even like if they're dealing with like a narcissist or somebody where it's like not good for them, the cards will also explain that.
Really? So you can get into like you could get into full questions like, am I gonna do this or should I do this? Yeah,
but also to keep in mind that we can make our own decisions.
Yeah.
So like you don't need to blind, like however you feel. Everyone can make their own decision and the future can change.
Yeah.
So it's not like set in stone. It's like the current energy in this moment.
Yeah, and I find that interesting too, because when like I have a friend of mine who's religious, and he finds comfort in the fact that he doesn't have control over everything, right? That he's like, you know, there's things out of my control, and you know, whereas like someone might say, no, it's all up to you. It's all up to how you're going to do it.
I think also like both can be true. So I like to get like when people ask about like what is your purpose, I think a lot of the times when I think we definitely choose to come here to like learn and to have certain experiences, and so like our life path, like we we all want to go like a certain way, or we come here to do certain things. And then sometimes doors close because we might think, oh, I want to do this. And then the doors close in your face, and then it pushes you a whole different way. So you might feel like you have a lack of control because it's like, I wanted to do this so bad, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But everything is working for you, not against you.
Yes.
And then just because you think you want to, so like, again, your ego, you're like, I need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. Like the universe has a way of pushing you into the right lane. And
it's how you look at it too, right?
Yeah.
Like I always look like, I mean, I look at my dad, for instance, he was married before, got divorced, and he'd always say, it was a really bad time in my life. He's like, it was really shitty. He's like, but then, I met your mom, I had all you 4 kids, and look what it's come from. So like sometimes you think that something's like really bad can kind of, mold you or harden you into like, or push you into another direction, right?
Exactly. And that wouldn't have been a direction he would have went unless all of that bad stuff did happen too, like in a way. Yeah. Yeah. So I like to think everything's working for you, not against you. Even when you're like, why is this happening to me?
But like positive, like I guess how you look at it, positive. Like I joke around with my middle son, or with my wife, and I'm like, man, he takes a lot of patience, right? I'm like, I asked the Lord for patience, and this is what he gave me so I could learn it.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's a joke, but it changes you because you do try to figure it out a different way.
Yeah. And also, like, I find sometimes certain people can also be triggering where you're like, oh my gosh, like, they can like set you off or whatever. I like to look at that as like, okay, so why did that affect me the way it did? And like, because that's like within. Yeah. So like that reaction or emotional reaction, it's like, okay, I have control over how I react to any situation. I can't necessarily control how you react, but however you make me feel, I can choose to like take a breath, take a moment, and like really like be like, okay, so how do I want to proceed in this? And
we had my wife's grandmother on here, and that was one of the biggest things that she had given for advice was, if you're mad at she's like, if you're mad at somebody, the only one it really affects is you. Like she was at a party and she's mad at her sister-in-law for whatever reason. And then she's like, well, this is silly. Like I'm sitting here on my couch and everybody else is on the couch and everybody else is having fun. So she made a conscious effort to, okay, let's get up and let's dance and let's have some fun. Yeah. And then it changed the whole dynamic. It changed her whole attitude, where she just forget about the little stuff and then just keep going. Like, cause there's going to be a lot of things that people don't agree with you on. Right. But if you let it fester, I think that like you turn something little into something that could really bug you. Totally. So whenever I have that like moment, I always go, okay, like why? Yeah. And is this really that important to have this reaction? Yeah. Internally. Yeah. I think. And then you're like, I shouldn't do this. And then you're doing it anyway. She's like, you listen to me. You know? Right. But like even in relationships or friendships, like everyone communicates differently too. And like for me, sometimes I overthink things. Yeah. And like my husband, he likes to like talk right away. Yeah. And then sometimes I just need to say like, hey, like I need time to like process how I feel before I talk to you. Yeah. But then that also helps him because he's like, okay, like she's thinking she's going to talk to me. She's not just ignoring me. Yeah. And like we're going to talk. So then like you come on some sort of common ground. So like looking within is a great way to like know what your triggers are and how you react, and then also be able to openly communicate that with someone who might not necessarily, no one knows what's going on in your mind all the time. And then communication can be one of those hard things, but it also helps you realize how you can communicate when you look more within. And do you, like when you do this stuff, like did people ask questions like that, like how can I communicate with my husband, or like anything like that? I find, so when we start the Reiki session, if that's like on their brain, a lot of the messages are geared towards that. But like, I won't know if it's necessarily to the husband. I'll be like, oh, like the way you communicate in this way. Yeah. Like, and then I'll articulate or give advice with that. I don't always know the reason, but then once we communicate, my client and I, after it all makes sense. Yeah. Do you ever do any like medium stuff?
No, I don't offer that just because I feel like I'm a practicing medium.
Yeah.
I also find that harder to turn on. That kind of just happens like spontaneously.
Yeah.
And then it sometimes happens during the Reiki session. So if it does, then I always ask my client, hey, are you open to receiving a message from the other side type thing?
Do you see any messages around me?
Well, I feel like a lot of the cards that were coming through were messages towards you. And like a big thing was about the signs. I feel like you're getting a lot more signs that you're just missing.
Okay.
And it'll open the communication, and I feel like it'll like open up your brain to like this whole.
Do I want to do it, right? Once you open up the door.
Well, like so I already know that you see the angel numbers happening because you said
But I always thought they were good luck. Like whenever you see a few numbers in a row.
Yeah. And do you ever get deja vu?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so that is a big message about that the journey you're on is the correct one. Like you're going down the right path. So if you're ever unclear about something, let's say you're debating or choosing between X, Y, and Z, and you're really thinking about one thing and like you're noticing deja vu is happening a lot.
Yeah.
That's the right way to go.
So I always have deja vu as like a feeling where like I'm like, oh, I feel like I've had this conversation before. Or like, but it's never like, it's hard to really pinpoint exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm like, you'll see something and I'm like, oh, I've seen that or I've heard that or whatever, right?
But yeah, deja vu is like a huge sign that you are on the right path.
What are some other signs? Like, I have this written down from, like you talk about, where am I here? Like, I mean, full moons, summer solstice, a black cat. We talked about flies, right? Like, crystals. Like, what are some other signs that for people out there that are listening, like, what would they be?
So a lot of signs that you also can get from the other side are dimes.
Okay.
Like you always hear when like someone passes away, you're like, I'm seeing dimes everywhere. Dimes are a huge sign.
Yeah.
One thing that I like to tell my clients or people if they're noticing a lot of dimes is actually look at the dime. A lot of the times the year on the dime will be very significant and will like let you know who it is that's giving it to you.
Yeah.
Could be their birth year or whatever. Like it'll be a significant date to you. Another one is like feathers. I find, so like my grandma, she likes to play with electricity.
Yeah.
So sometimes lights will turn on or off or flicker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that that's my bubby.
Yeah.
So then if you're having that happen too, that's another sign.
Do you feel comfort with that? Like, because some people would like, lights go on and off. They'd be like, what's going on?
Maybe I'm abnormal, but yeah, I do feel a comfort in it. And that even happened like the one day I was working at the hospital and it was on my bubby's birthday.
Yeah.
And I happened to have a patient with that birthday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's the same year, but it happened to be July 1st and it was July 1st.
Yeah.
And anytime I would mention my bubby that day, the lights in the hospital were flickering.
Oh, really?
Flickering on and off. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because like even feathers, I've heard of the feathers before, but like I'd have like a goose down jacket with like a hole in it, and I'm like, yeah, of course I see feathers, right? So, I guess like, yeah, there's some, like, I mean there might be a reason for that too, but I guess, sometimes maybe it just is a feather. I
do find that like music is a big sign also.
Yeah.
Where it's like the song that reminds you of the person will play when you're in the car thinking about them. Electronics malfunctioning or to try to like get your attention, to be like, hey, pay attention to me.
Yeah.
All that.
So then what does it mean like with like a full moon or anything like that? Like,
yeah, so
are cats a thing? Are black cats a thing?
So black cats are generally very like spiritual, connected. Anything black is really good for protecting.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought they were bad things.
No.
No?
So like black crystals.
Like a black cat would be like a bad, like don't walk in front of the path or something, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like that so you don't realize how powerful black cats are.
Oh, yeah.
So then you have a negative connotation, but they're really good spiritual protectors. Cats in general are.
Okay.
But like black cats especially.
And then black crystals?
Black crystals, so black tourmaline, obsidian, all of those are really good at clearing your energy and protecting you from negative energy.
How do they do that? Like, how does crystals, like, they
absorb.
They absorb. Okay.
They absorb. So if you don't cleanse them or clear them, like your friend was saying, they can also like break.
So what type, like, is there a certain type of, like, how many types of crystals are there?
There's a lot.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a lot of crystals.
So how do you know what crystal resonates with you?
Normally it's the one that you feel gravitated towards.
Like the one you grab.
It could be the one you're like, oh my gosh, I love that color.
Yeah.
Or wow, that one is so cool. Whatever one you have actual interest in is the crystal that's meant for you.
Okay. So, but even the one that wears down with
Selenite.
water.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's, if it's wearing down by the sweat in your hands, it's helping you out somehow, right?
Yeah. Also selenite, because you're talking about the moon, like moon cycles and phases. Selenite is really good for the moon.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've like heard about astrology or anything, but I believe in astrology also. So I'm a Cancer moon. Okay. So you have different like signs. So my sun sign I'm a Capricorn sun. Yeah. And then I'm a Libra rising and then a Cancer moon. So I really like selenite because like my emotions can be like changing like the moon. Yeah. And selenite is really good for grounding that. And moonstone. So like even the necklace I'm wearing right now, it's moonstone.
So do you like, so I guess like just getting into mood and all that stuff with crystals, how does that work with, like, let's say something pisses you off, right? Mm-hmm. And, are you cautious of that and like, okay, hey, I need a crystal, or are you kind of like, well, I'm pissed, you make it like, I don't want to say excuse, but you're like, well, that's only because I'm a Cancer, or I'm a,
oh no,
I don't. I'm like, does it give you, you're like, well, yeah, I'm doing that just to really, like, does it give you an excuse?
Well, I don't. So for me, no. Okay. I also think it just brings awareness. With knowledge, there's power. Yeah. So I don't really get angry. I'm more emotional. Yeah. Like a crybaby, I guess you could say. So, but with the moonstone, I feel like it balances that. Where it's like whether I'm like super happy or excited, like I'll get emotional. Yes. Or if I'm sad, obviously. Okay. I'll cry. But I don't use it as an excuse. I'm just like, okay, so obviously I'm emotional. I know that. I don't need to know my moon sign to know I'm emotional. Yeah. But it also just brings like awareness to like, oh, how? So then with like the moon cycles or moon phases, like our body is like 80% water. Yeah. And if the moon affects the tides of the earth, you can strongly bet
it'll affect you somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's smart. That's very...
right. So like just thinking about it logically. Yeah. And so when the moon is in different phases, like a full moon is really good for like big energy, a big like moment type thing where there's like lots of power and energy in it. A new moon is really good for like shedding different like belief systems or manifesting some new beginning. And like when you start that manifesting journey at the new moon, the moon is fully like going up to the full moon, so bringing that into fruition. And then like so you can use it for like manifesting.
You can. Okay. Yeah. And I would like, I mean, I never really thought of that before. Like, you're right. If it can affect the tides, then it can affect you. Right. But there's a lot of times, like, I always thought a full moon was like something negative, like howling at the moon, or it was a full moon tonight, so the guys are a little rowdy, or like something like that.
Well, it's because it brings energy. So with whatever it is you're doing, like it could bring energy. So like things could get rowdy, or nurses are superstitious. So full moons would bring interesting things into the hospital, like where you're like, wow, that was a crazy night. And they're like, oh yeah, it was a full moon. That's why. So like it just like brings energy to things.
Do you have like a full moon on your calendar, or do you just feel it?
I do. One of my like widget apps, it like tells me, but also like I feel it. So, and then I'll look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's right.
So if you were, so that's a next full moon. I'm gonna run around outside with my shirt
It's
off.
tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Everybody out there, like Kyle and Brooklyn, have to have this edited by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So then, if somebody's gonna jump on the crystal train, okay, they're gonna pick a crystal that resonates with them. But what's the hope for it? Like, what do? They hold it. What are they expecting to get from it?
So one that people are really gravitated towards originally, a lot of people like amethyst. It's like that really pretty purple crystal.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, it can help with your sleep. So if you suffer from insomnia, so trouble sleeping at night, it can help with that. It also protects your third eye, which is where like your psychic gifts are.
Yeah.
So it protects you from that or energetic attacks that way. It's just like really pretty and calming.
Yeah.
So if you have anxiety, it can help with that also. Also, like rose quartz can help with self-love. And that's like a light pink crystal.
And what are they doing with that? Are they putting it around their neck or putting it in their pocket, in their car?
Yeah. So like the little ones I call pocket rocks.
Yeah.
And then so like I'll keep those in my pocket. Like I normally have like garnet or carnelian. So like this is garnet. So red crystals are normally really good for grounding.
Yeah.
I can have a lot of great ideas and be like, oh, let's go do this or whatever. But then like this helps ground and like earth.
Do you find it works?
I do.
Yeah.
And even if it's I don't think it's a placebo effect, but like even if it is for other people, if it's helping, then it's working for you. But there's energetic frequencies to all the different crystals.
But they have to, and is that like a scientific thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a scientific thing. So have you ever heard of grounding?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I forget who it was, and I wish I did my research, but somebody who was having like a really anxious day and they just felt like jittery where they're like, oh my gosh, this day like sucked. They like measured, she like held this tool and like it shows like your energy frequency or whatever. And then she went barefoot on the ground and it just like tamed her down.
Yeah.
So she physically felt better, but then also it like showed that her frequency is like, she's calming down. Like all of the ions and the everything is like relaxing.
I think I've heard stuff like that with like even like rubber on your shoes like stops that stops the grounding.
And even water, like a simple way that you can help manifest things too is like using water. So there was a study where they froze water.
Yeah.
And they poured intention into, or they didn't even pour intention. All they did was write down words.
Yeah.
So like they wrote words like love, joy, happiness, fear, guilt, shame.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa, Hitler, like all the different things.
Bitch, shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
okay.
I'm not sure if they wrote those ones. I was more using what they did, right? But they did that and then they froze the water. And then they looked at the water through a microscope. And what they found is words like joy, happiness had beautiful snowflakes.
Yeah.
And then like the more darker ones like fear, shame, guilt, Hitler had not nice looking snowflakes. So like the water actually formed into beautiful flakes with the nice words and like ugly ones with the others, which shows that water can hold energy and frequency. So one thing you can do is like when you're drinking water, you can drink it with intention. You can like think about joy, happiness, abundance, prosperity, all things that you want. And as you're drinking your water throughout the day, you're becoming that frequency because our body's made up of so much water.
And you can do and I mean, humans they gravitate towards water anyways, right? It does ground a lot of people. Like even like if I'm at the cottage and I go in the water, like I always go like in the morning or I'll go before I leave. And you do have that moment where you're like, okay, you need like one final like, and then, so like I can understand that with water for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
So with the crystals, so if I want to give it a shot, I grab a crystal, I'll hold it in my hands for a few minutes or I have it near me. And then when I want to charge it, I'll put it in sunlight or I'll excuse me, or water, you said,
or the moon. You
Or
could
the moon.
smudge.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna.
Or you could also get yourself a selenite wand and just put your crystal on the selenite wand.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's the easy way. I
but
go for easy, like simple, easy, because like I don't know. There's only so much time in the day,
Yeah.
and like, am I going to remember every full moon to put my crystals out in the moonlight
Yeah.
or whatever? So I like to do things simple and effective.
So with all this stuff, where do you see yourself going? Like where do you, like, you know, are you going to be that like old lady in linen draped over with like bracelets and rings, and every time you walk you're like clinking all around, or like where do you see yourself in the next couple of years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Like, is this like nursing would be put to a back seat and you would have this, or you would always kind of maintain both parallel? Or
I definitely, so I think there's a way to bring both together, where you can bring medical background with spiritual and kind of alchemize it and bring it together. Obviously I do, most of my time and effort is going towards like my business aspect.
Yeah.
But I love nursing. I love doing that. So it'd be cool to like bring it together
Yeah.
in some way. And again, like it's a trust the process thing, kind of like with what I was saying to you, because sometimes you don't know the exact path, but like I have an idea.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do like Reiki and readings and all that stuff all day, every day. Like it brings me so much joy. It brings my clients so much joy. And
if it's positive.
well, yeah, but even if it's like harder truths that come through, they're needed. And that ultimately brings
like having some sort of like thing at the hospital with this. Like to me, if I was in the hospital like sick, like you know, I think you can open up a little bit quicker when you're in that situation. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think like something like this might be really kind of neat just to talk to. And I think it would, you know, I mean, it's more therapeutic than you'd probably begin to realize. Right. Mm-hmm. Because then people just like, I find the majority of people want to talk. Mm-hmm. They just don't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. Right.
And like, this is a great doorway.
Yeah.
To be able to do that and feel comfortable with it. And I think it's cool too, because sometimes people don't feel even comfortable like sitting on a chair, like talking about things, but then like the messages that come through, it helps open up that dialogue.
Yeah.
Which also facilitates the healing, because if we're holding things back and like suppressing like traumas or emotions or fears into our body, that becomes stuck, stagnant energy. And then with the energy healing, it helps block that and open the energetic flow.
Yeah.
And then also with the messages, it helps to bring that dialogue to be able to like get rid of that, that way of thinking or repression or whatever it is. And one thing I like about the Reiki is the messages come through that you need to hear at that time. And then so each session, so let's say you're coming every single month, you can get deeper and deeper as you're ready to get deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Or you can come for an energetic tune-up and just like have the Reiki.
But you're right. Like, I mean, like for like, I mean, I'm going to just throw it here, but most of your clients are women.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, you know, I honestly think it would probably be more beneficial for men, because men do bury that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, so like if there's an issue, okay, we'll forget about it. And then if there's another issue, we'll forget about it. And then we'll forget about it. And then like, you know, you either like lash out at somebody, right? Or you have to have some way to kind of release it, right? Some people can do it through exercise or swimming or whatever. Mm-hmm. But most men aren't really, and I'd be the first to admit for myself, aren't really in tune with that. Like, I don't think like, oh man, hey, I got real buildup of emotions, you know, I should go hold the, you know, or go to do some Reiki. Like, I'm not like, you know, there's a whole lot of, you know, but I do think maybe, you know, maybe that might be, you know, interesting. Yeah.
Pretty much all of like my male clients are because their partner like came, or they're like, you would really benefit from this, or it's like their brother, or like dad, or like it's from like a female coming and being like, okay, you need this.
Really?
And then like gifting them a session, and then like they come and they're like, well, I may as well try it.
Yeah.
And then they do, and they're like, oh, this is something.
Well, and it's so funny you say that, because I was like, if they're like, we're at the, what time are we at?
Hour 45.
Look at that. See?
Yeah.
So like we're an hour 45 in, we're coming to the end of our podcast here. And if there's somebody out there that has watched this whole thing, okay, and then I want to do a male, wants to give it a try, right? I'm going to gift them a session. So if you guys hear this and maybe it's your husband or somebody else, we want to gift you a session so you can try this out, because I think I do feel it'll be beneficial for the right person, and they need
That's really sweet.
Right? Need to open it up. So, so with that, okay, the what was I going to say? The with your other, like, I would say medium, you kind of have that gift too, right?
Yeah,
But you don't. That's just kind of coming in and coming out.
exactly.
Have you ever had an experience with like a friend of yours or anything like that where there was a message through that from somebody else, like their grandmother or their mother or... Mm-hmm. Yeah? Can you tell me about it?
So one of my friends, it was like during a Reiki session, and like when I was talking to you about that like mother figure that was coming through, that was with my friend.
Okay.
And all the messages that came through were exactly what she needed to hear that day. And like, I guess she was thinking about her a lot. Again, I didn't get a name, and I didn't even see. It was just like this overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
And like, it felt like a mother's love, but then it felt distant in the sense that it's not a mom.
Yeah.
Like, type thing. So
Yeah.
then I just work through the feelings that come through. And like, that's like the message.
And then she feels it, so it'll mean something to her.
Yeah, like to me, I'm not sure why I'm feeling all of this, but I'm writing it down because I know it's going to mean something to her. And even like weird things, like I'll draw because I'm writing.
Yeah.
So then sometimes I've even drawn pictures of like different landscapes that I have no idea what it is I'm drawing.
Yeah.
But then like when I like on Zoom or in person, but like this particular one was on Zoom. So then I showed like the paper, and I was like, hey, like, I'm not sure where this is, but I'm hoping you can tell what this is.
Yeah.
Because this is where you're meant to be, and it's really going to like...
But you draw it on paper?
Yeah.
Like a sunset, or like a...
It was like a mountain range.
Yeah.
That I was drawing. And then like, and I circled the specific part of the mountain range.
So what did that mean?
So she knew exactly what it meant. When she saw it, she's like, oh, that's here. I can't even remember what it was, but it was somewhere in Peru. And she's like, I've always wanted to go there. I've always felt like it was going to be good. She's like, this is the confirmation I needed to like just do it.
That's sick.
And like, I had no idea like what it was I was drawing. Like that meant nothing to me.
So what do you like? So yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess that's the interesting part too, right?
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Like, are you ever like, you go through that stuff and you're like, how did I do? Or, you know what I mean? Like, do you have people that are like to me, because I wouldn't really say anything. I'd be like, yeah.
Well, so when the session is over, before the messages, I would just go like, oh, how are you feeling? Because a lot of the times people are like, I haven't been able to relax in so long.
Yeah.
And she's like, my brain actually turned off.
That's cool.
Like type thing. Or like they'll be like, I felt heat.
Yeah.
Or like at the end, I felt energy surging through. Or like whatever. Like sometimes they're just like, I just felt super relaxed.
Yeah.
Like, so I always ask how they felt. And then after the messages, I just go like, oh, I hope it resonated with you. And like normally they'll be like, oh yeah, it did. Or like this one I'm gonna have to look further into. And then they might message me back months later and be like, oh my God, when you first said this, like it meant nothing to me.
Yeah.
But like now, like this happened.
That's
and then
so
it makes
cool.
sense. So yeah.
So I guess with that then, like, I mean, that's pretty gratifying for you too, right? Like if they do get something,
especially
from it.
like when I first started, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I guess it's been a while now.
Yeah.
But when I first started, I was also kind of like, oh my gosh, like this part of you thinks like, oh, is this working?
Yeah. Like,
and like I had my own doubts.
Yeah.
Like even during when I'm like learning, like my teacher's like, yeah, like you're doing great, but part of you is like, okay, but like I can't see what I'm doing. It's all feeling.
Yeah.
Are my feelings accurate? Like, is
Yeah.
my intuition like good, or is like this me just thinking these things? Because I feel like if you're like seeing a spirit, you're seeing something, or you're hearing something, like words, it makes more sense into my brain.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's just thoughts.
Yes.
So then like part of it is like, okay, so am I projecting thoughts? But like, how can I project when I've never met this person before?
That's right.
I don't know them. So like, why are these thoughts in my brain?
Yeah.
But then over the years, then you're like, okay, like I just trust it.
Yeah.
And I don't really need that validation anymore. Whereas
the
like
confidence, right? It
yeah.
kind of comes.
Whereas before I was like, hey, like, like, did it make sense to you? How do you feel?
Yeah, because if someone doesn't give you any feedback, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you say to those people that are like, oh, it's, this is a scam, or these guys are full of crap, or it doesn't really work, or, what would you say to somebody like that?
I think a lot of the times the people that are like, oh, it's a scam, it doesn't work, in a way, they oddly are the ones who need it the most.
Yeah.
Because like they're like repelling it so much because they're afraid. And a lot of the times it's because they don't know.
Yeah.
But they're normally the ones that have the most profound experience afterwards, where they're like, whoa, type thing.
Because you're probably breaking down that barrier.
Yeah.
So they've got a little more to break down, right?
Exactly. Like the people who come in and they're like, I need this. I already know, like, whatever.
And you're like, oh,
like,
God, Susie's here again.
No, it's never like that. But it's like they kind of know.
Yeah.
And like they know they need it. So, and they're like, I can't wait. So like a lot of the times they're like, okay, I need a session with Jasmine. And then they tell like their angels or spirit guides, they're like, Jasmine will know what I need. And like they'll just be like, okay, I want her to tell me this, this, and this. And then they tell me after, like, yeah, you told me everything I wanted to know out of this session. And I was like, wait, it was almost like a test here. Like,
it's more like most of your stuff is word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, like someone has an experience and they're like, everyone I know needs to have it.
So if somebody's interested to get a hold of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if somebody's out there and they want an experience, right? For the males, okay? I'm going to cover that. How do they get it? You guys are going to message us, okay? But how would somebody get a hold of you if they wanted to have an experience like this?
Yeah, so I have a website. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. My website is www.jasmineashley.com.
Yeah.
And all of my social media it's Jasmine Ashley.
Okay. All right. So if you guys hear that, then you can have an experience like we've had today. But I just wanted to thank you for coming in. Like I love this stuff. I think it's really, really cool. And when Kyle and Brooklyn were like, yeah, we gotta have her on here, it's pretty exciting. So I just want to thank you. All right. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. But our hope is that someone gets some real value here. So this is really cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.